Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're pleased to welcome back Republican State Representative Sal Esquivel. Sal, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Craig.
All right, so it's you guys wrapped up the session on Friday. A very interesting session. We're going to kind of walk through some of the most important bills in a moment. But first, about 12 years in the legislature for you?
I'm finishing my 12th year in the House.
Okay, and I remember last time we wrapped up a session, you came here and we talked to how you'd never seen it as contentious as that. And this one, did it top it?
Yeah, it really did. What we tried to do, and someone asked me, what's this like? And I said, it's kind of like trying to put 5 pounds of bologna in a 2-pound sack in 15 seconds. That's what this one was like. We did things that we didn't do in 5 months, couldn't do in 5 months, and they passed through in five weeks. So it wasn't well thought out or vetted, I didn't feel.
Okay, and as I mentioned, you're a Republican, and many Republicans, and I don't want you to speak for everybody, but it seems because the Democrats dominate both the House and Senate, and obviously have, Kate Brown's the governor, that things moved through. You guys didn't feel you had a say. Would that be correct?
We didn't. We were left out on the outside looking in, and that's what happened the last session, which I believe I said last time. Mm-hmm. And so the same thing happened this time to the extent of there was deals being made, and we weren't included in the negotiations nor the talks. So.
Yeah, people rarely have an idea of how these things work. Of course, up in Salem, very few people get to go into the Capitol and see how this works. What is the mood like between? Do people talk, or is it just kind of everybody shares? They have lunch together, and once they get in the building, they go to their sides of the aisle, and that's when the
actually,
ends,
you have your friendships. Uh-huh. I mean, I have my friendships on both sides of the aisle, and there's some great people up there, but the leaderships on both sides, they don't talk. And it's because it's kind of an exclusionary situation of where the people in charge know that there's no backstop in place. Whatever they do in the House and pass in the House, and if it passes the Senate, the governor signs it. Well, there's no one to say, wait a minute, we can say it as a minority, but then they vote over us. So it's a unfortunate thing that Oregon has right now, a one-party system, because that's what it is.
One of the bills that was passed, certainly the one that we've mostly been paying attention to, is minimum wage. That's something many, I don't know if all, but you were against the hike in the minimum wage. Mm-hmm. You mentioned SOU before we started recording this. They're going to be pretty greatly affected by this?
Well, they'll be affected. I believe they were telling me that within this biennium, it's going to cost them about $30,000 extra. And then the next biennium, it's going to be about $250,000. And if that's the case, where's that going to come from? The students going to pay more.
Okay, and coal, you weren't happy with that one. That one came in through late last week, I think maybe on Wednesday or Thursday.
Well, I would have if it would have been productive, but it did absolutely nothing for the environment. And I don't care what people say, it does nothing for the environment. And let me explain that. We're going to pay a premium for coal-fired electricity or generation. We're going to pay more for electricity, period. Now, this does not have any effect on any coal-fired plant, and it will not shut any of them down. We have one at Boardman, but it was scheduled to shut down 6 years ago. So let's take a situation of where they have a coal-fired plant in Wyoming. Well, what they can do in Wyoming is the power company can turn around and sell that to a different state. Then that other state sells us nuclear-generated power, and we just pay the premium for it, but nothing's been shut down to help the environment.
Okay, well, one thing you mentioned is there were upsides. It's something both sides seemingly can agree on, that veterans, we're getting help for veterans, and the Hawley Theater right here in downtown Medford getting $1 million, is that right? Mm-hmm.
They're getting $1 million to help for the restoration of it, because that's it's a $4 million project, over $4 million. The veterans, we started out with 2% of lottery funds to be dedicated to the veterans. And we have 330,000 veterans in the state of Oregon, but only about 30,000 are taking advantage of their benefits. So 90% of the veterans aren't taking advantage of it. So we need to reach out to those people and say, hey, you have benefits. You need to take advantage of them. You've earned those benefits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and we've done that, but we sent it to the Senate, and they in turn knocked it down to 1.5%. So that's what we'll be voting on as voters, to dedicate 1.5% to veterans.
So we'll be able to see that this fall?
We'll be able to see that.
Okay. Well, we're glad we got to see you today. Thank you so much. I know how busy you are after getting back.
Take care.
Appreciate it so much. All right. Stay with us. We'll be right back.